All of us reach a point in time where we are depleted and need to somehow find a way to reignite the fire within. But how do we spark that flame? Welcome to Reignite Resilience, where we will venture into the heart of the human spirit. We'll discuss the art of reigniting our passion and strategies to stoke our enthusiasm. And now, here are your hosts, Natalie Davis and Pam Kass.
Welcome back to another episode of Reignite Resilience. I am your co-host, Natalie Davis, and I am joined by Pam Kass today. Hello, Pam. How are you?
Hello, I am fabulous. You and I are, trying to survive this 100-degree weather that we
Oh,
are, where this came from. Uh,
yes.
yeah, it's been hot and sticky. Not happy.
And I just got back to town and I thought that I was in the place. I was in Texas all week and San Antonio to be exact. And I won't say anything about the temperature there, but it was hot, it was moist. And then I got out of my car here in Colorado and I was like, wait, I brought it back with me. Like, what
But you
is
didn't bring the moist, just the hot.
No.
Because nobody wants to be traveling with moist. So.
Oh my gosh, exactly. No one needs that.
It's going to be hot. I don't want it to also be moist. Just give me some heat.
Oh my gosh, it is a balmy time of year. But I am excited. You and we have some things to talk about. Actually, you've got some things to talk about. I'm not going to talk about anything. I'm just curious. I'll be here in silence. I'm curious because we had a little bit of a sneak peek into what you were going into last weekend. It would have been last weekend in terms of timing. So for those that are listeners, it's been a week since I connected with Pam, and you shared that you were going to have a 3-day silent retreat or be a part of a 3-day silent retreat. And you've made it through. You did it.
I did.
I think it was like that the third day I sent a text and I was like, you can talk again.
It was funny because I shut my phone off. So I didn't have it on. So yeah.
Well, tell us about it. First of all, let's talk about how you got yourself into the situation. How did you say yes? Because I think a year ago we caught wind of a mutual friend and mentor that was doing a silent retreat, and both of us looked at each other and were like, "No, not doing it. No, we don't want to have that much time with ourselves."
No.
Fast forward, here you are, and you did.
Yes. So it was so funny because I knew the weekend was coming, and I kept getting the invitations and register, and I was like, nah, I don't think so. I'm too busy. I got stuff to do. And then something came up, and I was going to be out of town, so I was like, yes, don't have to do it. And then I was like, well, there's another one in January, so maybe I'll do it then. Yeah, whatever. And so
a good time of year. January is a nice reset. Let's just do it in January.
I was like, maybe I'll do it then. And so then that being out of town for the weekend got canceled. And I was like, all right, girl, like you don't have any excuse. So just register for it. And you register for it like a month in advance. And then you get the prep stuff like, okay, this is the stuff that you need to do before the session and how to prepare for it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I literally had this dialogue in my head. I'm like, I am going to burst into flames. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'll just cheat. I'll just, maybe check my phone, blah, blah, blah. And so it was probably 2 days before. And I'm like, you know what? If you're going to do this, like, just do it. Like, just go all in. So I set all my notifications. I had somebody cover for my business. The kids were going to be home. I moved upstairs. So I've got an office, Jack and Jill bathroom, and then a bedroom. So I just moved up here. I was like, I'm just going to be up here like a retreat, something different. And we started Friday at 3:00. And that first hour was her just prepping us.
Well, hold on. How do you prep the people in your life? Like
I just told everybody.
Grandkids, like just told everyone, I'm not available.
Silent retreat. I cannot talk. She encouraged that you could eat dinner with, family if they were at home, but you couldn't make eye contact. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do that. Like, that
Oh,
was kind of weird.
yeah.
You can exercise, which made me happy. You can take naps. So, like, if you're during one of the meditation sessions, you're like, I'm tired, I'm going to nap, you can nap.
Okay.
You can be out in nature. So, I went on
Okay.
a lot of walks by
Okay.
myself, but you can't listen to music. You can't listen to a book. You can't read. You can't write. The writing part was the hardest for me because I'm a
Oh,
writer. Like,
yeah.
I'll come up with a thought and I'm like, oh crap, write that down because, that could be
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't do anything.
Okay.
So she kind of
Okay.
prepped us, and I'm
And
like,
so as you're like reading all of these, like all of the instructions, the preparation leading up to it, you're like, yep, I'm going to burst into flames. This is
first
going to happen. This is it.
100%.
Yes.
100%. So we
Okay.
had that from 3 to 4 was her telling us about it. And then she goes, all right, now you have a 20-minute break. And then tell your family goodbye that you're not talking now until Sunday at 7.
Say your final goodbyes.
And I was like, dude, I went downstairs and I talked like rapid fire talking because I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to talk for a
Yes.
little bit. Like you can't even
Yeah.
talk to your dogs or your cats or your animals or anything. Like you just like nothing. And
And
no
so
chores
Oakley was
at all.
not able to come up and
No.
okay.
And you couldn't do any chores either.
Oh, so no. Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
Like making a bed or throwing in a load of laundry or
Yeah.
anything.
The little things that keep us busy.
The morning routine. Couldn't do it.
Wow.
And I have my whole morning routine. I have like this
Wow.
rigid, okay. So that night, so that was from 3 to 4, and then 4 to 4:40, 4:40 to 5:30. We did, was it? I can't remember, but anyway, we did our first 40-minute meditation, and meditation was unguided, so it was just silence. So it
Okay.
was 40 minutes of just silence, and
No
that pretty
music or
much
anything,
nothing.
truly silence. Okay.
Yeah, we could have candles going, which she encouraged, which I did,
Yeah.
but nothing. And so for me, that looked a lot like me inside my head saying, "How are you going to do this? What are we doing? What are you doing? Don't do that. Stop thinking. Be quiet.
Yes.
Don't do that. You're going to be." Oh, it was just like inside my head, and I'm like, "Well, this is
Yes.
gonna suck for 2.5 days. Like, if this is what this is like."
You're like, I just quieted everything around me so that I can amplify the voices in my
Yeah,
head.
and they were loud as heck. And so I'm like, oh my God. And then we had a dinner break for an hour.
Nice. Okay.
And then we came back and we meditated for 40 minutes again. So you would meditate for 40 minutes, take a 20-minute break, meditate, 20-minute break. And then
Okay.
the guide, she would had 2 times that she would talk, like on Saturday and Sunday. And then at the end of Saturday and Sunday, she did 2-hour block where people could ask questions. So
Okay.
at that point, you could talk if you wanted to, but she would just pick people. So mind you, we had about 30 people in person at the retreat center. Chose to be at home because I wanted to be able to sit on the floor and whatever. And then we had about 38 people from around the world that were on Zoom. And so we had
Wow.
our Zoom on like the whole time.
Yeah.
So my mind did not stop Friday night. And I'm like, this is going to be the longest weekend of my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And of course, it ends at 9. And I'm like, okay, well, can't do anything. Just going to go
Yep.
to bed.
Go to
So,
bed. Yes.
so
Yes.
I got up in the morning and
Also, side note, that became your mantra, like whether you realize it or not, right? Like that becomes the affirmation. It's like, this is going to be a long weekend, or I'm going to burst into flames. Like that, what you're saying and repeating to yourself are the actual things that you're creating in
yeah,
your. Okay. Okay. All right. So you go
pretty
to bed
much.
at 9 o'clock. You're like, I can do
Yeah.
this. Day one down.
Day one, got this. I got that 6 hours down, 5 hours or whatever the heck. I'm like, I got this. Tomorrow's only
36 hours to go.
yeah, it's only 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. tomorrow, but
Yes.
easy. And
Yes.
so the problem is I get up early. And so I actually did sleep in till 6,
Oh,
but
good.
that's still
Okay.
2 hours. And so I'm like, what the hell am I going to do for 2 hours? I can't do my morning routine, which I like to do. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to make my coffee. I'm going to sit on the porch and just stare into nothingness, which is what I did.
That's it. That's
And I just
it.
sat there and it was quiet and just watched the trees. And then we came and we started at 8 o'clock. We did a meditation. And in that meditation, it was different. There were like these dark lines that would like start coming down. Like I could see it with my eyes closed coming down. And then it turned into an eyeball. And I was like, well, that's
Oh.
interesting. And then the cornea of the eyeball turned this like deep purple. And I was like, well, that's weird. And then it would be the center of the eye, and then it would be the eye close, and then that would become the center of the next eye. And it was just like this loop of this eye and this purple. And then it started like everything became purple. And I'm like, well, this is interesting. Okay. At least I quieted my mind.
Yes.
And then we had our
And
mornings
and gave yourself time to observe it, right?
and
Like
gave
you got
myself
really
to
good peace.
observe
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then after that meditation, we took our 20-minute break and then came back and she led us through something. And she talked about this disconnecting from our ego. So
Mm.
we all have this ego. And if you think about it, every single task that we do is feeding our ego. So
Mm.
we do something, it makes us feel good.
Hmm.
I make my bed because it makes my bed look good and it makes me feel
Yes.
good. So every single task that we do, everything, it's because we're feeding our ego. And she said what we want to do is not only detach from our ego, but identify ourselves as being no one. We are no one. We
Mm.
are. Then she went into Rumi talking about the drop in the ocean. And
Yes.
so she walked us through a drop in the ocean, but then we are the ocean in the drop. And so
Hmm.
basically what it came to was we are everything.
Yes.
So we're not this earth suit that she calls it. We're not this
Right.
earth suit. We're actually, because energetically we are, everything has energy. We are all connected.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that was like so interesting. And then she said, so if you can believe yourself to be everything, to be that,
Yes.
what are the conditions to being that? That made me cry. And I was like, why am I getting all emotional about
Mm.
this? I'm like, this is weird. And so I thought that was like really interesting.
Yeah.
Then we did a meditation, and that time I saw the purples again, but then there was pinks that came in there too. So I was like, okay, this, and it was almost like the center of the cornea was the colors, but it was almost like it looked like a kaleidoscope. It was like
Mm.
kind of like this weird movement inside of with the colors, and I was like, well, this is really interesting. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, go to lunch, and it's 2 hour lunch break. I'm like, what the hell am I gonna be?
Eat very, very slow.
I'm like, okay, no TikTok, no social media. I'm like,
Yes.
so I took my dog on a long walk, ate lunch, and then I was sitting there on the patio with the dog, and I just start to cry. And I was like, what?
Mm.
Because I was thinking about what she said. What conditions are
Yes.
there to you being everything? And I was like, holy crap, like, how do we have all, maybe I'm just going to speak for myself. It's an I statement. I have put so many conditions on my life. Like, I have to do this, I have to be this
Hmm.
to prove my worth.
Right.
Well, how can you believe yourself to be everything
Right.
if you don't believe you to be even worthy to be the person in this earth suit?
The you. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes. Yes.
So I was like, pooh, okay, mind blown a little bit.
Yes.
So we came back from lunch, and that meditation, I could not meditate. I actually felt nauseous, and I was dizzy, and I'm like, okay, I don't feel good. And so I powered through it. I could not focus. And so for the next break, I was like, she said, take a nap if you are. So I'm like, I'm going to lie on I had a pillow on the floor. I lied on the floor. I'm going to lie on the floor, take a nap during this 20-minute break. And she would just do chimes to bring us back. So the chimes went. I was like, you know what? I still don't feel great. I'm going to lie on the floor and meditate, which she said, do not lie down to meditate. You will sleep, which,
Ah,
and which I knew I would.
yes.
And so I must have fallen asleep, and I wake up to hearing, Mom, clear as day. I leap forward, throw my blanket off. I'm like, what? Kids aren't in the house. Nobody's here. I have no idea what that was. It was weird. And
Hmm.
I lied back down and I slept for the rest of the meditation in the next break.
Break.
And
Yeah.
then I did the next meditation, and that I was able to get back in focus. And I actually a brilliant blue and a pink, and
Mm.
now it was like the whole thing was like a kaleidoscope of different colors. And then at one point
Instead of
they,
those darker colors that you had started with. Yes.
yep,
I mean, still pretty, right? Like the deep
yeah,
violet and
still,
all of that,
yeah,
still pretty, but those are the darker.
yep,
Yes, probably heavier.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay.
at that point, there wasn't the eye anymore. It was literally like a kaleidoscope of different colors, like coming together, and it was beautiful. And then there was a butterfly, and I was like, okay, what does this mean? And so we did that. And then that evening, she was talking through kind of, asking, people were asking questions and talking about this. And one lady got on and asked the question. She goes, during one of my meditations, a big number came up, and it was the same number. And she goes, I'm just curious, what does that mean? And she goes, instead of trying to think through what that means, just say to yourself, well, that's curious. That must have some meaning, period.
Yes.
And that's it. And so I didn't get on to ask her because I'm like, okay, I got woken up to someone saying my name, Mom.
Mom. Yes.
That's interesting. I wonder if
Yeah.
that means something, period. There's all these colors. That's interesting. That must mean something, period.
Yeah.
Don't try to think it.
Yeah, because we want to assign value to it, right? Like
Absolutely.
we justify it. Yes, like it has to mean something. Like now,
Yeah.
it was a message, it was download, it was a
Yeah,
whatever.
what
right?
was it?
It's
Blah,
like,
blah, blah. Because that's
just
what I
is.
know. It's
Yes.
just it. It just
Yeah.
is. So then and that night we ended at 9. I went to bed. I slept 9 hours.
Wow.
I've never slept that long in my life.
Wow.
And I thought that was so wild that I think the emotions of all of it, the stillness, the quiet, the just everything
Yes.
completely just drained me of every ounce of everything that I had.
Yeah,
It was
100%.
It was absolutely exhausted. So the
Well, and I
next,
think when you're doing any type of any type of spiritual work, like and plug in whatever your practice is, if
yeah,
it's meditation, if it's prayer, if it's reflection,
yeah,
if you're chanting, whatever it is, whatever you do, when you're truly putting yourself in that state, it is an emotional experience, right? And so your spiritual body is kind of woken up, right? It's not
yes,
just your physical body, but we feel it in this physical human form,
yeah,
and we have to rest it. But
yeah,
when you're putting yourself in that state for like such a condensed period of time, I know that it's 3 days and you were like, oh my gosh, it's 3 days,
yeah,
but it's 3 days. Like imagine you've got years of life that you've never done this, and now you're condensing it down all into this one
yeah.
experience in 3 days.
All of that's coming out.
Oh my gosh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the other big piece the conditions piece that you said was mentioned, and this has popped up just in different messages that I've received over the last couple of days as well when we talk about the conditions. And it's not just the conditions that you place on yourself, it's the conditions that we think that other people place on us as well.
100%.
And it comes down to being worthy, being accepted, being loved.
Yeah,
Like I'll be loved or I will be
yeah,
acknowledged or recognized if I do X, Y, and Z or
yeah,
whatever that is. And
yeah.
so everything is built with conditions now.
Everything, everything.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
this idea of allowing ourselves to just be everything. So it was so interesting because that second day at lunch, when I sat outside, and that morning when I sat out for breakfast. So the morning that we had 50 minutes for breakfast. And of course, I'm sitting out there. I'm like, what am I going to do for 50 minutes? And I'm just sitting there and the wind is blowing and I'm watching the trees move and a hummingbird.
Ah,
And I
love
haven't
it.
seen a hummingbird.
They're my favorite.
Hummingbird.
Oh,
And
one just
comes
came
to
to my
my,
window today,
yeah.
actually. So yes, I
And
love
so
them.
I've never seen a hummingbird here. And it came to my flower
Oh,
pot on my front porch. And I'm like, what does that mean? Period. I'm not going to ask.
that has to mean something.
Thank you for joining us today on the Reignite Resilience podcast. We hope you had some aha moments and learned a few new real-life ideas to fuel the flames of passion. Please subscribe on your favorite streaming platform, like or download your favorite episodes, and of course, share with your friends and family. We look forward to seeing you again next time on Reignite Resilience.